Good morning, everybody. It's still morning here in Washougal, Washington. I'm Colette, the Highway Stitcher, and I'm here to give you my stitching from the highway and at home. And right now I'm at our other house, the River House in Washougal, Washington. I had hoped to do this outside by the river, but the weather has been kind of crazy the last week we've been here. In fact, very crazy. We've had snow that stayed on the ground, like a couple inches. We've had hail, really large hail. We've had thunderstorms. We've had regular rain. We've had sunshine. So a little bit of everything up here, but no good for videoing down by the river. So I have to do it here at the house. Anyway, I want to tell you that I'm happy to be here with you. Our temps right here are about 44. Now going up to, that's Fahrenheit, going up to a high of 53 Fahrenheit, 6 Celsius for those visiting me in other countries, and going up to 11 Celsius. And I'm glad to be here with you. It's been almost a month, so it's been a long, long time. Anyway, I have a couple FOs to show you, and the whips I'm working on up here. And I actually finished all my whips that I was working on up here, so now I'm just going to continue working on my plans. I'm going to, until we go home, I'm going to work on the ones that I want to work on. And, you know, until I get back, and then my plans will change some. So anyway, I'm going to go on and start with the whips. Well, actually with the FOs, with my finished objects. Since it's been almost a month and some of you follow me on Instagram, this is going to be repeating things, but for those who don't, this will be your first time seeing all of this. So this is Emerald City. It is by Alforest Designs. This is a piece that I've been working on to get finished in my Daily 30 Challenge group. And I did finish it up. And that's a pretty good representation of the color of this. I stitched it on, this is a hand dyed by Rolanda Fabrics. I don't have a color, I don't have a name on it, so I can't tell you the name, but she has very vibrant, swirly, mottled fabric. She's a fun person to go to get something like that, to like a piece of fabric, to show off your kind of crazy and wild and fun type of projects. But I'm using the called for DMC, or I used the call for DMC for this. The only thing I changed out was the fabric. And let's see, this is two floss threads over 2 linen threads, 2 over 2. And here's all the parts of the Wizard of Oz. So we'll start over there. Of course, that's her house and the tornado. There's Dorothy with Toto and Glinda, the Scarecrow, the Tin Man, the Lion. There's some steps to the Emerald City, which is, of course, takes place, it's right in the middle there, in prominent view. Some poppies for when they were in the poppy field. Mice, that's in the original story. There's the Wicked Witch and her little spiders nearby. The Emerald City, the focal point. One of the good princesses. And over here is one of the flying monkeys. I love this one. This was fun to do. And then there's the Wizard of Oz. And there's the balloon that they fly back, or that he flies back in. And then there she is with, there's the ruby red slippers and the house where she gets home. I decided to keep the ruby slippers for the look. The original story, of course, she wasn't wearing ruby slippers, but I'm kind of a fan of the movie, so that's why I kept the color for that. So anyway, I'm pretty excited. That was a finish. I'll show you a little bit later. I won't be able to show you the exact piece that I substituted in now that I'm done with this into my challenge for Daily 30, but I can tell you what it is. So I'll do that later in my plans. So that was pretty exciting. I got that one done, and also the Harriet Elizabeth co-sampler done. So I was able to substitute in 2 new projects for Daily 30 Challenge. So And then I also had another smaller, just a little small stitch that I did as I was in the car driving up here. This one, it was a freebie pattern, and so I don't have a picture of it. It only was like the pattern itself. I got it at Keepsakes in Ohio when I was at StitchCon. And the reason why it's on such a big piece of fabric, this even goes down even farther, is because I knew it would be small, but I liked the coloring on this fabric with these flosses, so I thought I'll do it up near the top, and then I'll just cut it off when I'm done, and then I can use the rest of the fabric another time. And I don't have any good cutters or anything up here, so I just left it. This is 36 count, let's see. Yeah, 36 count weeks fabric in Confederate gray. It doesn't show up the best. Well, back there it shows up pretty good. Gives you a pretty good feel of what the color is. I'm using color and cotton substitutions. There's only 2 colors. The one is Emerald blue for the blue, and the red is an amaryllis. And I did a 2/2 instead of 1/1. And that's just me. I like a fuller coverage. I like more coverage on my 36. And so anyway, this is a little piece that I'm going to finish up into something. So haven't decided yet. So that was a finish. 2. So now I'm going to go on to my whips. So let's see. Okay, my first whip was a long time ago, probably almost a month ago. This is a full coverage that I started, and let me see. I've got to find my notebook here. It's called Spring Montage by Janet Stever. I'm working on each one of the montages for spring, summer, winter, fall. And I'm working on this with several other floss tubers and other people who have decided to join in. Sarah, Stitching Mommy on Floss Tube, is the one who first mentioned it, and I liked the patterns, so I decided to jump in with the SAL. And over the weekend, we did this like the weekend of the first days of spring, because we're trying to stick with the actual season that we're doing it on. And so when we started this, it was the first weekend of spring. And I used Friday, Saturday, and Sunday to do my stitching to see how much I could get. I was hoping for 1,000, and I did get 1,100 stitches approximately. I think I might have been a little over 1,100. And what I worked on, that I'll show you in a minute, is this area here, because I wanted to get some of the flower there done. That's what I was hoping, at least to make it look like a flower. And I did accomplish that. I stitched this. I'm going to try to stitch all of mine on the same color if I can get it. I need to go buy some more, so this is crossing my fingers time. But I hope to stitch them all in 25 count moss. So let's see, that's more of the color of it. It's kind of a lighter, more of a garden green. So this is 25 count moss even weave. I'm gridding it myself, and it is 1/1 full cross. Here a little closer, you can see that I did get some of the branch and the flower almost completed, as well as the beginning of the edge there and some of the background. Yeah, this was enjoyable. I enjoyed this. I was glad I could get this much done on it in the weekend. So now I can put it aside. I kind of feel like Sarah. I like to get at least 1,000 stitches done on a brand new project, because it's like, doesn't look like anything if I don't. So I was glad to get those 1,000 stitches on that. Okay, my next piece was actually for last month, finishing up one of my daily 30 challenge pieces. And this is the only one I have left that's old. So when I say old, it's the original because we picked 3 pieces. And I finished up Harriet Elizabeth Cohen and the Emerald Cities. So the only one I have left in the original group, which I've had for about a year now, is this Mirabilia Garden Prelude. A lot of you like this. I'm working on the dress down here, which I'll show you in a minute. And I worked on this section right here. I am not doing the flowers or the background on this at all. Just emphasizing just the actual girl doing her violin. So, okay. This is a longish piece because I did it the long way, so I'm going to fold it up a little. See if that shows up pretty good. Yeah, it does actually. I didn't cut off the piece I stitched. Anyway, this is stitched on 32 count. Picture this plus demi-cell. Kind of a very light mottled green, purples, blues. Doesn't show off very well, but when you see it in person, it's very pretty and it complements this piece very nicely. This is 32 count. I did it 2 floss threads over 2 linen threads and used the called for flosses, which are in this case DMCs, because I think the only other ones were for the flowers were another floss. So I did do a color change on this. It's for my granddaughter, and she has brown hair, brownish red hair with a lighter complexion. So that's the change I did. And the part that I worked on, let's see here, is right down in here. So there's another fold, and then some of this. So all those folds, they're so pretty. So you can kind of see them as you go down here. Though I think the next time I'm going to be moving over to the other side, I'm trying to keep it even. And so I probably, since I'm almost even all the way across now, I have a choice of where I want to go, sort of like full coverage. So I think I'm going to move over on the other side, the part here, which starts flowing out. So she's looking pretty nice. She's progressing along. So. Okay, my next piece was a new start. I got, what is the word? I got pulled in with a couple other floss tubers onto this. I first saw it and I thought it was so cute. And then I got, no, I can't really be doing any other SALs, and I wasn't planning on doing any others. And then I looked at it again, the little piece that they showed, and I just really liked it. So sometimes I'm a cutesy frosted pumpkin fan, and then sometimes I get off of it, but right now I'm on it. So I joined the Under the Sea Club Mystery SAL. So of course there's no picture to show of it. So I'm showing you my actual finish of the March part of it. So isn't that cute? That is so cute. So I am stitching this on 28 count Stormy Dawn. I kept the tag on there because it was dyed by a friend of mine, Lori. She has a floss tube textilist, and I didn't want to lose the tag because I wouldn't remember that this wasn't like a specialty piece of fabric, like from, you know, it's from a personal dyer instead of a store. So anyway, I think it works pretty well with this. If you look at it farther back, it looks like the swirls of the ocean. So grays and blues. So it works out well. And when I got all that back stitching done, that mermaid's so cute. This is all the called for floss, which is DMC. The only part that I changed, and it wasn't on my agenda to change, but I was already up here at the River House, and I didn't want to go to the store to get the regular one. I ended up picking, instead of the DMC for the face, and I believe it was $7.29 or something. I think I have $7.30. I'd have to look, but it was like one number up or down. And I went, oh, well, I don't want to mess with this, so I hope this works. And in the case, I think it worked out all right. So she's just more of a white mermaid. So, but I think it's all right. And it works all right with the other colors. So anyway, that was my only change. I just ended up using white on the bubbles. I brought along my Petite Treasure braid, but when I tried it, I really wasn't very happy with it, so I just went back to white. Anything else? Nope, that's it. So anyway, that's our first segment. And oh boy, not too far from now, another week or so, we'll come out with the next. So this was fast and easy to do, though. That's what I was glad about. Oh, and what was funny about this is that we actually got together on a messenger call, a video call. Sarah, Stitching Mommy, started it. Shelly, It's Only Stitching, started it. Shelly, I hope that's what your new floss tube is. If it isn't, you can bing me. And anyway, I think It's Only Stitching. Anyway, the three of us decided that we would start this actually on the day that the pattern came out. That was funny because we had a lot of, Sarah's very nice way of putting it, we had a lot of technical difficulties. So I don't know whether or not I will ever do something like that again. I thought I was all ready to start something, but when you do something like that and you're waiting for it to come on your computer, and then you're trying to print things off and your computer decides to not be happy. So yeah, it was kind of funny, but we did get all our technical difficulties worked out and we got it started. Shelly really zoomed along with her. She was done first, then Sarah was done, and I was done last, but I did finish it up. So anyway, that was fun. That was a fun day. Okay, my next piece is, of course, this one that I'm doing in sections, and it is a SAL. It will be finished up in October. So we're about halfway through now, actually, because we just finished up this section right here. So, well, almost halfway. I guess it is halfway. This is My Home in the Garden by Hello from Liz Matthews. Beautiful, beautiful piece. And I'm stitching it on the called for 32 count. I needed to fold this up because it's on a long piece and I'm not down that far yet, so I'll just fold it up and show it to you. I'm stitching it on the called for fabric, 32 count Peanut by Be Stitched Me fabric, and using the called for floss, which is a beautiful Gloriana silks. So, and the part that we stitched, as I showed you on the pattern picture, was this area right here. So some more cute motif flowers, butterflies, and I assume those are butterflies. I don't know, little cute insects. And I did O, P, and Q, and then the border. So this is moving along. I think that when I get down to where the house is and stuff, I may go ahead a little bit, just because houses tend to, I get really bored with them. So I may start up the house a little bit before, but I'll finish it up in the time frame we're supposed to finish it, because I love houses, don't get me wrong, I really do, but some of them just bore me to whatever. So I just want to, and if I want to keep up on this, I'll have to do that, because I may burn out on that house. So I need to start it up a little sooner. Also, I'm a little burned out with the border. I'm really glad that we're doing it in sections, because the border, even though it's beautiful, it's absolutely beautiful, I'm getting a little burned out with it. So, but other than that, the rest has been fun to stitch. It just really has. There's a group of us together that are doing it in sections, and we really have enjoyed it. The letters, I'm not always a big fan of letters, but I love her font for these letters, and love those flowers. Every flower is just a joy to stitch. Just really fun. So that's my section completed for this month, and being the fearless leader that I am of the SAL, I'm showing people that I'm being good in keeping up on showing my progress and getting it done. Okay, 2 more. Okay, I need my picture book here for all my full coverage again, and put it aside. I'm still working very very much to try to keep up on my 22,000 stitches in 2022 on a challenge for the lace maker, or a lace maker. Here's the picture of it. I'm not quite caught up, but every now and again when I get a break in my other challenges, I do go back and work on it, and I try to work on it long enough to get at least 1,000 stitches. In this case, I got over 1,000. I'm not sure how much because I didn't count it up exactly, but I know I did 500 one day and then 500 and something the other day, actually. So this time I was right up here, so I got most of this part of the roof finished, as well as this section of the side of the chimney. I'll still have some of this to work on. I forgot about that actually when I posted on Instagram. I posted that I was finished with the roof, but I'm not really exactly finished with the roof. But I'm finished with all this part, with all this confetti, you know, so I'm going to start moving down there. And I'm using the typewriter method, taking my highest unfinished stitch and working it down in cross country. And I love that method. And you know, I'll just continue doing that. Works out pretty good for me. Sometimes when I start new patterns, I won't use the typewriter method. I will start wherever, like whatever corner I kind of want to start in. And that depends on where I want to get something like popping out, like showing up right away. Because otherwise, if I'm doing too much background, then I get too bored. So I decided with other ones, sometimes I'll start like in a different corner, or I will work across and then down and try to get something that's showing, you know, showing up. But once I get that done, I usually tend to go back and start pulling the highest and working down once I have something to show that I like to see. So anyway, oh, and it's actually, this is an artisy design, as you can see. It's called a lace maker, and the artwork is by Miles Burkett Foster. It's like an old-fashioned type of painting of a lace maker they're lacing. Boy, when I ever get to her, that'll be amazing. I'll just be shouting from the rooftops, I got to the lace maker. So, but that's all right. It's really looking nice. So let me see something here. So this isn't a huge piece. It's not like some of the heaven and earth ones. So I can hold this out and show you the total because it's not as big. So here it is. This is all of it all the way across. As you can see, I'm getting pretty much even across now because I have been working on this section here, getting this part of the roof all finished down through here. And then I also finished up most of the stitches here to have that kind of eave part of the roof next to the chimney. So that was what I did for most of my 1,000, this and filling in that. So that it's looking pretty good. I didn't look at my pattern keeper to see. I think I'm like 33%, something like that. So these are the trees over on the other side. And now I'm going to start the typewriter method again. I'm going to start picking up the highest thread. So in that case, I'll be working over here because these are the highest unworked threads, and try to get the rest of this like eave part done on both sides of that chimney, and then start probably moving over to some of the trees and work on that. Or over here too, some of the side of the house, because that's also higher up. And I'm doing this on 25 count white even weave, gridding it myself, and it is, I'm doing it 1/1 full cross. See if there's anything else. No. Anyway, I like it. It's looking nice. So anyway, it's been a month, so I've done a lot of stuff. So I have a lot of whips. Well, I only have one more now, but I had a lot to show you. Okay, I participate in Whip Go, which is another challenge group, and that's an open challenge group. All you need to do is go to Facebook and look it up, and it's basically a bingo. And the numbers are pulled once a month, and you make up your own challenge guidelines for what you want to do and what pieces you want to do. I am doing a sampler whip go this year, trying to work on certain samplers that I have not worked on for a long, long time and get more done on them. So I believe there's 10 of them. Yeah, I believe I have 10 or 11, and so they're interspersed throughout. So like I put them like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, and then I repeated them. And so that way I have at least 3 times that I will be working on them during the year. And my goal is 1,000 stitches for each time I pull them. This month, one of the ones chosen was Pandemic. I'm sorry I don't have a picture of what it is finished. Actually, I'm doing pretty good to have all this stuff here to show you as it is. Anyway, this is being stitched on, this is by Long Dog Sampler. Those of you who don't know, this was a free pattern that she allowed people to have for like a limited time during the main part of the pandemic. I'm stitching this on 25 count, white Lugana. I want to emphasize my colors, and so that's why I'm sticking with white. And I'm using a Mrs. Seda Silks, M-I-S-S-U-S, and another word is S-E-D-A-S, Silks on Etsy. From Spain, she has beautiful hanks of silk that she hand dyes. And I'm using 1 strand of silk over 1 floss thread, so it's 1 over 1 full cross. Trying to figure out the best way to show this. This is a beautiful colorway. It's called Darling, and it's blues and greens. That's the name that Mrs. Sadis gave it, and it's just not really showing up right here on how pretty it is, but it is just beautiful in if you see it in real life. Let me put it a little closer here. But again, that just does not show it. The colors are just vibrant in person. Since I got it up close here, I'll show you what I did for my 1,000 stitches. I actually worked a little bit on the border, that top border, and then this other border I brought all the way over to here, and then I ended up doing all of this down here. I was done with that little flower section there, so I did down to here and connected onto there, and that was the area that I completed for my 1,000 stitches. So that little flower, those couple little V's and triangle and that. So it's amazing, the small area for just 1,000 stitches. Golly. But still, that's more than I would have done if I hadn't have picked it. So beautiful piece, and I'm glad to get it started up again and get some work done on it. That was the reason why I did Sampler Whip Go. So anyway, that was my last whip that I brought up with me here in Washington at the River House. So plans going forward, we're going to be here at about another, let me see, today's Friday. I think we're leaving on Tuesday. And I'm done with everything that, you know, I planned on doing. It's hard when you decide to bring things up. Usually I bring way too much. But we had just come back from a wedding in California, and we turned around and just I mean, literally turned around the next day and came up here. And I thought I would forget something. Well, I didn't really forget things, but it probably would have been good to have one more, maybe my other whip go, to have up here and get the 1,000 stitches done on that. But that's all right. I am going to go back and work on the lace maker and maybe try to catch up, see how many 1,000 stitches I can get done before I leave, and you know, catch up with my goal on that, which is good. So my other whip go is Panoply of Posies by Tempting Tangles, and a lot of you really love that. That was called and chosen for this month. When I get back, I probably will work on that. That's the one I converted to like a primitive patriotic theme. And then I'll move on to my 3 pieces that are in Daily 30, my 3 challenge pieces, which of course will be Garden Prelude again. And my other 2, I'll show you when I get home, but one of them is Here Lie My Needles. It is a previous Stitch Mania piece, which we'll be able to get done in probably 2 or 3 months, I would think. And it's by Shakespeare's Peddler. And I am going to do some changing out on that. So I'll show you when I get back home and do a floss tube, you know, what I decided for my changes. And then my other piece that I put in. The Here Lie My Needles was placed in after I finished Emerald City. When I finished Harriet Elizabeth Coe, I placed in place of it my Peace Band Sampler, which is my birthday start. And I should have done that. It's by Heartstring Samplery. And I should have done that for last year's birthday start a lot sooner, because then I was hustling to finish it. This way it'll be there and I'll hustle to finish it as part of my challenge, and it will get done faster this time, Krista. So you'll be seeing my piece every month now, and that's fun. It's a fun stitch. It's just sometimes it gets put aside and I forget about it and I go, oh, well, my birthday isn't until October, and then all of a sudden, like, September comes and I'm going, what am I doing? I've got to finish this. So this way I'll be able to do a certain amount of what I choose every month, and it'll get done. So, and I won't be stressed at the end. Okay, those of you who are just into stitching, you may, you know, end my video now. And I'm going to move on to my lace. Those of you who are interested in seeing my lace, I did also bring some of my lace up here, and I'm pretty excited. I have a finish, and also I started up on working on one of my other whips for lace. So anyway, bye-bye to those of you who are just into stitching. Thanks for joining me and seeing what I had to show. So now on to my lace. I finished up, those of you who've been following me, I finished the sled. It is off the pillow, as you can tell. It's a regular piece of lace now, no pins left in it. All the stitching, all the lacing is done. I'm so happy. It looks nice, and pretty excited. So unfortunately it got done 3 months after Christmas, but that's all right. So that's how lace does sometimes. So those of you who want to know a little bit more about lace, as far as a finished piece goes, I took the pins out of this, and then you turn it right side up, and then it's facing this way. I have no qualms showing you the back side of my piece. This was a piece that had a lot of starts and stops, meaning that I had to sew in threads and then start them again. So with lots of different kinds. This is the back side. If you look closely, you will see little bundles of threads where I finished those sections. So, because each one of these was a different section, I had to start it and stop it. A different type of lace. So if you look closely, you will see those threads that I started and stopping at. But when you make a little bundle and tie and knots, you try to do it. I've gotten pretty good at it. You try to do it to where it doesn't show when you flip it over the other way. And let me see here. And I only have one part where the bundle and tie wasn't the bestest, so I kind of turned it under a little bit. It's this little box up here, I think, where my bundle and tie keeps trying to pop out. But the rest of it worked pretty good. Interesting thing about this piece of lace, which I've mentioned before, but I'll mention it again now that it is off the pillow and finished. This has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 different, I guess you'd call types of lace in it. This part along here, and that little flip there, that's Bruges lace from the Netherlands. That's a typical Bruges called a scroll start. So that is Bruges lace. And this right here is Russian. This could have been used in Russian, this filling, but this for sure is like a Russian filling. So that's a Russian lace. This right here, all these swirls, that's Idria lace from Slovakia. This up here with these stretches of fillings that bounce. We call them bounce off. They go in and then they come back, and they go in and they come back. That's a traditional Bedfordshire lace from England. And that's a very traditional, well, it's also a traditional way of doing Cluny lace too. Cluny and Bedford are quite similar. Then we have some torchon lace, which is from France. That's this one, the fillings of this one, this one, this one, and this one. So, and then of course just some cloth lace stitching, which it was filling, making the boxes, the squares of the boxes and stuff. Which the outside edges of the boxes, that is pretty much any kind of tape lace follows that rule. So any of these tape laces would have that. So anyway, I'm pretty excited. This got done. Looks nice. I'm happy with it and happy with getting it done. I was getting a little burned out after a while, as I told you, previous people who've been watching my videos, of starting, oops, there she goes, of starting a section and finishing a section, because so many of these sections were teeny. I mean, even you can see there's not a whole lot to them. Like this one right here, there's only just this little bit to do. And once I got a start on it and I was having fun doing it, then I was done with it, and I had to sew it out and knot it up and cut it off and then start another one. So I was glad to get it done. Okay. Oh, I better say a stitching thing. This was stitched with 36/2 a Brock sewing thread. And Brock sewing thread is not made anymore. We lace makers like it, and we're kind of sad about that. It's just because it's a good standard size thread. It's not too thick, it's not too thin. It works for a lot of just tape lace patterns really well, and it's a good strong thread. Okay, my next piece that I started working on another section up here is one that I showed to you before. I started this at the Winter Lace Conference in Costa Mesa. And it's my Milanese Cactus. So, when I was there, I'm not going to take the whole cover cloth off of the part I finished, because I am trying to work on this, and that'll be a lot of work for me to get it back on. But you can look at my, I believe it's my last video or the video before that. It's probably just my last video, 83. I show what I completed of this, which was the ground and this section of the cactus. Not the filling. This is considered a filling. Just the standard Milanese stitches all around there. And now I'm starting. I just wound my bobbins and put them all on the piece and started this section here. We do this section first before we do the little flowers on top, because with lace you have to have one section done before you can start another, because if I tried to do this, it wouldn't have anything to sew into. So you do the lower part. You work from like lower to higher, because you have to do a section first, and then I could go back and sew into this. So this was our next trunk that we were supposed to work on. And this is the braid that I'm doing. Each one of these, with Milanese lace, it's an Italian lace, started in Italy. These pretty little, like, areas in here are called braids. Each one has different braid fillings. So this one for the new trunk that I'm doing is called a grenades. And that's the actual look of it, just in white. But if you look at it, you can see it's like, looks like little grenades connected together. There's 3 on this one if you look at it that way. And this is our pattern for following to know how to do it. Carefully, I'll lift this up. I started this a couple days ago. And I started the right branch. Now I'm going to hold it way back here first. I noticed that when I show my lace, it's hard to show the lace on the actual pattern. And the reason why is because that pattern that's there, that's in pink, has a glossy paper on it so that the pins can hold and stick in. But that glossy paper, of course, when you bring it closer, you can't even see anything. So, but that has to be done. You have to have a glossy piece over the actual paper, unless you don't plan on ever doing it again, or whatever, or you don't care if you make big holes in regular cardstock, because that's the problem. The pins will make holes, and sometimes they merge together, they get messed up, and your piece will not look as nice. So by having that, we call it contact paper on it, it won't look as nice. So, but showing it to you, you can't tell. So I found my best way of doing it is I'll show it to you farther back to give you kind of an idea of what I'm trying to accomplish. And then if I bring it up close and tilt it, it will show better. So anyway, I started at the top of that right branch, which is right there. Worked my way down, and I actually did 2 repeats of the grenades pattern. And I'm using the same 3 colors and the metallics. And so I'm going to start saying my thread types, which I use a Gutermann silk thread, which is actually in Joann's. And I'm using a Madeira metallic thread for the metallic. So to bring you closer, if I go like, let me see. I know there's a way I can do it. There we go. When I go closer like that, you can kind of see the formation of 2 sets of grenades. So, but it's still not perfect because the glossiness still kind of affects it some. So, but my plan is to finish that right branch whenever I get a chance. So that's my lace, what I did when I was up here at the river house. So. I do still, to keep you on the straight, to keep you on my radar, keep everybody on my radar, I still plan on doing a lace with me. I did end up getting some of the stuff I needed, and, you know, I'll see when I can get that started. We, for life things, we have some busyness we have to take care of, is business-wise, to do with one of our pieces of property that's a business property, and we have to do a new lease, and somebody's trying to lease it, and so that's a lot of work that we have to do. And so maybe I won't be able to get to this stuff as soon as I want to, but don't worry, I will, you know, I will get to it, because I really do want to do it. I think it'll be fun. Other people say it's fun to do a stitch with me, so that they can just kind of talk, and I've been kind of wanting to do one anyway, so since I do want to do it, it will get done. I just have some other non-lace and non-stitching things that need to be done. And then, I don't know, when that gets done on May 1st, 2nd, and 3rd, the actual teacher who did this cactus is coming up and teaching another lace class, another Milanese class, which I will be taking. So then I'll have to get ready for that. So yeah, things are kind of busy. Anyway, I'm going to end this. I'm amazed it's under an hour. I really am, with all the stuff that I had to do after a month. But before I end, I never forget to do a quote. This time I'm doing it on my phone, and I just looked up Easter quotes just really fast. And I really like this one, and it's by Martin Luther King, actually. And to me, it is like the 2 meanings of Easter that mean so much to me, which are the, you know, both spring and the promise of spring, and also the promise of our Lord and his resurrection. So anyway, Martin Luther King writes, his quote is, "Our Lord has written the promise of resurrection, not in books alone, but in every leaf in springtime." So it's not the clearest picture in the world, but oops, okay. And then it totally went off to something else. Oh well, let's see if I can find it. There I go. Here it is. We'll try again. and shows, actually those blossoms there are the same blossoms for my spring montage. I just realized that. So, but I thought that was a really, really special quote. Martin Luther King was very, 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 had a strong faith, a real strong faith, and believed in our Lord. So I just like this. It's a combination of spring, new colors, flowers, and our belief in the resurrection. And with that being said, I want to wish you all a happy Easter, those of you who celebrate it, and those who don't, enjoy the coming spring and all the beautiful flowers and everything. So it's getting really nice out there. So anyway, love to you all, and I'll see you later. Bye.